So I finally woke up from, I would say, the first time that I really got a true restful sleep since I like decided to do this, kind of started doing it, and I'm out there. I'm officially out there. And the way that I've decided to start this topic of this recording will be like what I'm still, you know, what I'm struggling with, I guess, and that's the idea of dipping your toes in versus jumping. Very, you know, it's an expression that I find it hard to really get into, but burning the boats. Essentially, my boats are burned for the record. Like that's why I'm starting by dipping my toe in. Um, but like I could jump in, and I was kind of talking about this concept of a 50% faith to 100% faith. Like I think God is real, but I think the actions a human being takes because God doesn't always reveal Himself. I think is what I've realized is that some people just haven't had what I've had now, and I think that, but I think He influences people anyway. Even the non-believers. Like I think because I believe in a very unique way. I think He's just out there and He just wants you to enjoy this experience, and not everybody does, and that's part of the game that is set up for us. You can lose, and you can win big, and He just wants to see how the thing that He created, you're unique, and nobody's like you. We're very similar, but nobody's really like you, and nobody will live what you live, your experience. And I think that He just finds the things a human being will do to be worth having set all this up for us, because there are some beautiful moments and some heartbreaking ones too, and but the whole experience is worth it. Even if your experiences, I would say, not everybody's going to have this concept I have of somebody who's living a better life than you. Objectively, always somebody's going to be living a better life than you, and that comparison can get very tough. You know, somebody's won this game. Somebody's winning. They're in first place. But that's not really important because you can't experience their mind. You can only experience yours, and you need to try and experience it the best way that you can. I mean, whatever that is, and it sounds simple, but like you're you, and that's it. You gotta be that, and the way you can do it is like you just gotta do it. Um, and it's a scary idea. Like your success and failure is dependent on you. And so I've had a vision of my life where I put this voice out here, and you all love it, and I can actually be successful. And like what the dream is, right? My dream is to be successful at this, right? Like it sucks to do something and fail, and I've dealt with failure a lot, and it's scary because I have found a way to be successful amongst the failures, and I would say that I am. Well, we'll talk about it a lot, but I am like the picture of a really successful financially guy. I just don't do anything with my life, and that's what I'm trying to do now. Like it's a shame that I don't have a life. Essentially, I'm happy, and that's the crazy part. I am happy, and I have been in my way, but my way is not. It's just what I've branded my way. There's a happier way, you know, and I've been too scared to live that way. I'm dipping my toe in to happiness, but I have not jumped in the pool. And that's I'm trying to jump in. I'm just kind of sitting there right now with my feet in, and it does feel good. What I'm doing does feel good, even though, currently whatever it's only been like a few hours of things actually being out there. Obviously, I'm not a sensation. People aren't like clamoring my name, and I don't know that that's really what I want. I want a peaceful life still. I do not want to be on the news, but just like the idea of it, like that is possible. Like it's a weird thing to think for yourself. Like maybe people actually would even love me. And I think I don't know, like it's a weird thought because it's very egotistical too, and there's a lot to it. But like I feel like everybody's life is worth living. This might be a long one. well, I don't know. I'm gonna just give you an example of what I mean. Is I'm this broken person, really, and I'm not that interesting, in my mind. I'm a loser. Let's call a spade a spade. I've won the game, but I am a loser. We'll talk about what I think I mean by that later. That I'm a loser who's won the game, but you know, I want to. I selfishly believe that I really am worth knowing, and even if I'm too scared to be me, I'm too scared to be quote unquote Brad Pitt. What I'm trying to be is just something more than this guy nobody knows who would have would have been nice to know. Um, so even if I can only go as far as I'm willing to go, but what I have seen about social media and why I'm inspired to do it is like, I don't know if I want to get specific, but there are some people that I watch online. I'll go ahead and shout one of them out, John Cannon. John Cannon is just a guy living his life, and social media is a thing he just kind of does he literally does it as a side thing. But he just speaks his mind, and people love him. I think he's great. Not everybody loves him. Okay, granted, life's complicated. But I think John's great, right? He's just a guy who just says what's on his mind. He's a logical guy. He's living a fucking fantastic life. Bro, if I could be John, I would do it. You know what I mean? Like, John's my idea of, like, what is the perfect life? I really think that dude is, like, fucking up there. He might not be a 1%. He is a 1% guy. But the point is like, he's not the shiniest guy ever, but he's fucking shining good. And he's just a regular guy. He really is at the end of the day. Who chose to show that, this is what he's getting up to. Well, he's an exceptional guy. Let me be clear about that. He's actually exceptional. I'd say I'm a loser who's interesting, but John's just an exceptional guy who, shows himself. And I thought, but John's just an example. There are other people who they're more like me. They're regular people, but they're interesting. And, they have generated some amount of interest in their own unique perspective. Not everybody's the most interesting person on the planet, but some of us are interesting enough to hear what we're saying, what we're thinking. And so I'm going to dip my toe into showing you guys who I am. And I don't know that I can be John, that I can show you everything, nearly. I mean, he keeps certain things private, and obviously I think you have to, but I'm willing to show you guys something, and nobody's seen it, and I just think it's interesting. I don't know, it's a test that's very personal for me, even if I fail again, I've already won the game. But I wish I could be the person who just jumps in, says this is everything, this is all of it. And some of this stuff is not pretty, but it's relatable somehow, even if some of it's hard to relate to, I suppose. But it's comforting to know that a human being can go through certain things and survive that too. And if I don't talk about it, then you'll never know. And well, more information is better. I think I'm a guy who very much values having more information so you can make better decisions. But that's the logical side of me showing itself again. But really, I'm an emotional guy. I think a lot. And it's a shame that nobody's ever heard some of these thoughts, because some of them are pretty good. I think this one's all right. Anyway, so yeah, this one's about dipping your toe in versus taking the plunge. Try to at least dip your toe in. You can get in fully later. You can always get in, and that's what God has shown me. So it might take fucking 3 years before I get any sort of result, and that's faith. So if I can keep up that faith, I hope he rewards me earlier, because it's scary to just keep doing this, man. And that's the real thought. It's scary to keep doing it and keep failing, and a lot of people do it. God sets this game up, but all the players are still, we're still playing a game. It's not just like, oh, if I'm here, then I'm going to make everything perfect for you. I don't think that's what he does. But it is possible, and you'll never know unless you try. So this is me trying. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later.